Hello, and welcome to Southwest Cyberport's WP Coffee Break, WordPress answers in the time it takes to have a cup of coffee. Today's video is going to be pretty quick. How to restore the old WordPress editor. If you've updated your site to WordPress 5.0 or later, or just installed a new site, your site is defaulted to the new Gutenberg editor. The reason for this update, according to the WordPress architects, is Gutenberg will allow WordPress to take advantage of modern web technologies. So the future of Gutenberg looks bright, but if you've just had it activated on you with no warning, you may need to switch back to the classic editor for a little while before you dive in. Thankfully, this is easy to do. There are a couple of ways to do it. First, we'll look at the classic editor embedded within the block editor. We've started a new post here, and it's using the block editor. When we add a new block, it shows us the most used block types to select from. If we scroll down to the formatting section, we find this classic option. Click that, and now we're editing a block which is itself the familiar old WordPress editor. We can add just about anything in here, like headings and lists. This might be enough for some uses, but not all. If you have a theme or plugin which adds features to the editor, for example a button to add a form or gallery to your post, and the plugin doesn't support Gutenberg yet, you really need the full classic editor. To do that, we just need to add a plugin. Go to Plugins, Add New, search for Classic Editor, Install, and Activate. Now if we start a new post, we get the familiar editor interface. You can see the form plugin we use, Formidable, has added a button which shows up here. Formidable has in fact added Gutenberg support, so we don't need this, but for some plugins you might. But what if you want to use the classic editor sometimes and the new block editor other times? For example, if you have multiple editors creating posts on your site, they may move to the new editor at different speeds. Happily, this plugin can solve that. If we go to Settings for the Classic Editor plugin, we get some useful options. You can set the default editor, and that setting applies to all users. You'll probably want to start with the Classic Editor, but as you or your content creators get used to the block editor, you can change that option. But most interesting is this option to allow users to switch editors. If we turn that on, save the change, and head over to the posts, we see that each post is marked with which editor created it. Hover over the title, and you get two edit options, using the classic or block editor. And one last thing. If you default to the classic editor, but have some users who prefer the block editor, there is a quick fix. After clicking Add New, scroll to the bottom right and click the link to select the block editor. This seems to be a one-way change though. If you are in the block editor, there is no quick link to get back to the classic editor. You just have to go back out to the list of posts and choose it from there. As you can see, it's very easy to get back to the familiar WordPress editor. However, I hope you will spend a little time over the coming year getting familiar with Gutenberg. All the new development is happening with the block editor in mind, so it won't be long before there are things you can do in the new editor that you can't do in Classic. Check out our Gutenberg 101 video for a very gentle introduction to the block editor. In the meantime, the Classic Editor plugin will help you ease into it at your own pace. This has been a WP Coffee Break from Southwest Cyberport, a cutting-edge WordPress hosting provider in the heart of the American Southwest. If you need fast, secure, and friendly WordPress hosting, head over to swcp.com/coffee to check us out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future video topics, leave a message in the comments. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.